At a time when we have so much greed out there, when the religion of the billionaire class is greed, they would rather give up democracy than take a hit. These guys are so greedy, so wedded to their wealth and their power, that they will do anything to keep that position.
At 83 years old, all that comes to mind when I hear this man preach is what if? What if the DNC did not railroad him? What if he became president? How different of a world would we be in is honestly just sad to imagine. Meanwhile,
to me, greed is a paradox because you want everything. Even if you have more than enough, even if you have so much that what you have is starting to hurt you in the long run. You see it with the way that hedge funds cannibalize whole companies. It's like, okay, everybody made some short-term profit, but now this thing that people used to love doesn't exist. You know?
The free market capitalists like Bezos, Musk, and Thiel are notorious for buying off the little guys to eliminate the competition and enrich themselves even further.
Southwest Airlines is scrapping its long-standing policy of free checked bags, a move executives once said set the budget airline apart from competitors.
The short answer is that it's about securing our future. We're announcing changes to our business that will help us return to the levels of profitability we all expect and to support our collective long-term success. It's also about adapting to what our customers want.
Like every CEO, it is not about adapting to what our customers want, which is a blatant lie. It's about the bottom line. What customer wants to pay more for a free service that has been in place for 50 years. Find one, sir.
You take like a Southwest. You know, Southwest, people used to love Southwest. Bags fly free. Affordable tickets. You just sit wherever. You don't have to wait for the person. Southwest used to be so fire because then you don't have to wait for the person to get to their seat and you don't have to get up for anybody. Do you know what it's like to just be in your seat on the plane? And then greed, and then private equity, and then hedge funds, and then, you know, shareholder meetings, and then dividends, all the things start to creep in, and it's like, maybe we'll stop doing everything that is why everyone likes us. Maybe we'll just be like the other airlines. They make money, but then you actually look at the people who fly Southwest, and they were like, oh, y'all aren't nice enough to be like them, though. They're making decisions based on money, but not money that they need, just more money that they might be able to get.
What it comes down to is this: capitalism. Companies want to price gouge the customer as much as they can in the name of profit while making our lives harder.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Billionaires are bad for society because the level of income and wealth inequality is not only unjust from an economic perspective, it also has political ramifications. So that in my country, we have 3 people who own more wealth than the bottom half of American society. We've got people out on the street, and you have people who are worth hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. But in addition to that, the people who have the money have the power. They determine what wages workers are earning. They determine whether housing is affordable. They also have enormous political power. So in the United States, billionaires are able to contribute unlimited amounts of money into the political process. So if I'm a billionaire and I don't like you, who are a United States senator, I can contribute endless amounts of money to try to defeat you. And I like you because you're supporting tax breaks for the rich or deregulation. I can put enormous amounts of money into your campaign. So we have in America a movement toward oligarchy where the rich control not only the economic and political life of the country, but just have power over people's lives every single day.
Senator Sanders preaching again. And as Josh Johnson alludes to,
there's only so much that a business can grow. I understand a startup's passion, and that passion makes sense because the company just started. But after a while, it's like, do you really need to own everything? If the answer is yes, it's like, and they don't say it to us. They say it to each other. You ever get a hold of a recording of a closed door meeting and the way they talk about their own customers? You know, that's why greed is like a paradox to me. You're so greedy that then you end up cannibalizing your own company, your own efforts, yourself. You end up hurting yourself. American greed is another paradox, because as much as we know that the millionaires and billionaires maybe got their money in a way that's a little nasty, we also kind of want to be them a little bit. Everybody wants their piece, but we know how bad it is. You know, there are people who I know who want to be billionaires. They aspire to be billionaires. But if you ask them to name like a good billionaire, it's a hard quiz. But they want to be the billionaire because they're like, no, I will be different.
There are no good billionaires, because with that much wealth comes the political ramifications that set society and its people back.
We see that they are pulling back on these federal programs. They're making it very clear they are. We have to create a community-based solution to do that.
On why community is so important, especially in times like this.
And so you're in this situation where, you know, people are very worried, and understandably so. Because it's not really about the money. Money is mostly like the conduit. Money's mostly the placeholder. There are people who find money to be a game, and for them, the number is the important thing. How much actual money they can stack and hoard is the real thing. I want to show how rich I am is the real thing. But for almost everybody else, it's about their survival. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about taking care of the people that you love. So when they hear that there's going to be a recession, they're not really thinking like, oh, the number will go down. They're thinking about food. They're thinking about housing. They're thinking about resources, you know? And the only way forward is with other people. We've proven that this thing doesn't work. And then I think the other problem is that if you are pitted against people, if you're pitted against the other 330 so million Americans, then yeah, the odds look insurmountable. But when you see how many people are actually in your situation, and you see how many millions of people are just like you, and you put yourself on the same side as them, all of a sudden, all of the weight, it gets a little bit easier.
Johnson shares story after story in his new upload. For more from the comedian, head over to his YouTube channel, which can be found at the URL youtube.com/@JoshJohnsonComedy. Throw him a follow on Instagram as well if you can, short form on TikTok, and type in joshjohnsоncomedy.com/tour to see him perform live.
Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature.
Yeah.
The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. There we go.
Maybe it goes out. It goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
Used to see these tackles, now they tackle. Oh, head-on-head collision. Bing, flag, footballs become soft.
You have Trump doing sound effects for tackles. The choice could not be more clear. Like, let's not beat around the bush about it.